Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you to all the podcasters that are listening and tuning in. This is episode 18, and for those of you that are on my YouTube channel, thank you so much to all the new subscribers and to all the people that are new to my channel, and thank you for your support. I decided to try to double record, meaning to record on my YouTube and my podcast at the same time because I hadn't been doing very much on my podcast, and so I wanted to come on and revisit a old topic. I think it's episode 12 on my podcast. And of course, when I'm on my podcast, I try to sound super serious. So I'm going to add some personality, some flavor to it. But I think on my podcast is episode 12, where I talked about some of you guys, are new. Some of you, there's over 300 some odd videos on my YouTube channel. And the episode 12 on here was, does the narcissist love the new supply more than they love me? So I wanted to revisit that topic because a lot of you are coming on and saying the same thing. You guys know the holidays are coming up. You got Thanksgiving coming up, you got Christmas coming up, and so you got to prepare for that holiday Hoover. But one of the biggest questions that always are asked, and a lot of time you're just baffled, because you want to know, it seems like that narcissist is enjoying life better, is happier with that new supply. So let's visit that for just a minute. So when I say let's visit that, let's revisit that, because I did a video on that, but let's talk about that for a minute. When you met this narcissist, male or female, when you met this narcissist, they were everything that you ever imagined, everything that you dreamed of. It seemed like it was too good to be true. They love bombed you, and remember, during the love bomb stage, they are exerting a lot of energy. And remember, a narcissist requires a lot of energy. A narcissist requires a lot of fuel from you in the first place, and in that requirement of that fuel that they need from you, they are sucking you dry while you are in that, relationship with a narcissist. Well, when a narcissist is love bombing and pulling in a new supply, they are exerting a lot of energy. And so you're getting everything that you've ever thought of. You're getting everything that you ever wished for, because you're telling the story. You're giving the script to the movie, and that narcissist is creating the character to fit the script. And so you have never met anyone like this person. They're a good listener. This is my soulmate. I've never felt so attended to. I've never felt so manly or womanly, or whatever you want to say. I've never felt like such a woman around anybody else except for this person. I've never felt like such a man around this person. This person just brightens my day, just a breath of fresh air, hilarious, and on top of that, they take me out here. They take me, everything that I can ever want, they provide. Okay, if it's too good to be true, it might be too good to be true, because people have flaws. And remember how you felt when you met that narcissist. Now, keep in mind that some of you were the secondary supply. Some of you didn't know that you were secondary supply. Some of you knew that you were the side chick. Some of you guys knew that you were having an affair with a married person. And so here, a lot of the old supply look, and they hated you, just like you hate the new supply, and the same thing. The cycle is, they never change. They do the same thing over and over again. But remember, some of you guys were promoted from secondary supply to primary supply, maybe because of the fact that the old supply was discarded, or they discarded and realized that, it's not worth my time. Well, you took upon a headache from another person. So now you have to look at it as someone has taken your headache and your troubles and your trials. And in the very beginning, of course, it looks good. Of course. And of course, if you are trolling their pages, and I tell you guys, stop trolling their pages, stop looking, on social media, trying to see what they're doing. What are they? It seems like they're having fun. They're going everywhere that I always wanted to go. A lot of the things that they're doing, it comes twofold. One, to pull in that new supply, and two, to hurt you as much as they possibly can. They'll do everything that you've asked them to do that they didn't do on purpose. They'll purposely do with this new supply. And then you have to think, some of you are looking like, man, he or she only knew them for a month or two and they're getting married, or they moved in and they're playing house, or, this new supply has allowed this person to come in and play mother or father and disciplining their children. And they have no idea what type of monster they have in their home. Some of them come in and they come in with the excuse, I want to lighten your burdens. I want to come in and, I'll make sure the bills are paid. You don't worry about anything. They come in and literally take over the household, take over the finances. But to the new supply and even to you, it looked like this person was coming in to rescue you, and they're doing all these investments and they're doing everything to secure the future, called future faking, and you fell for it. So the new supply fell for it too. And there's only a matter of time, just like with you, sometimes 6 months, sometimes a year, that everything is let's say a vacation spot, is a mirage, an illusion, a facade. Now think about it. When the mask started falling off and you begin to realize what you had was not what you thought you had. And some of you guys actually fought for this narcissist. Some of you guys, got into fist fights or verbal altercations with the old supply, and you had no idea what this person was going through. Now you're starting to see, what this person went through. And now you're starting to have some regret. Like, I think I bit off more than I can chew. And now you're beginning to see what this other person went through. Some of you guys are a little confused. Like, I know they treated the old supply better than what they treat me, or they're treating the new supply better than they treated me. Well, first of all, the old supply got the same thing you got, except you got it worse, because they get worse with time. So now this new supply is going to get it worse than what you got, because they're mastering their skill. They're mastering their deception. They're mastering how to keep you from, them from leaving. And so, don't ever assume that it's better with them. It's a facade. And think about how hard you worked on making sure that no one knew what was going on in your house. Some of you guys, you lied. You created a facade. You worked very hard to cover up for that narcissist and to cover up for yourself, because you were embarrassed. You didn't want anybody else to know what was happening. Well, what do you think about the new supply? A lot of them will show off, and this is the one thing that I hate, when they get on there and try to hurt you too. The new supply gets on there and posts pictures and make sure that you see them on vacation and how sexy they are and how pretty they are. And they post all these pictures, how wonderful. And those people that really know the narcissist shake their head like, you have no idea. You went from beanie weenie to mud cakes. But you're watching this and you're hurting because this new supply is smiling. They're happy. They're going on vacation. But you don't know what happens when that camera turns off. I've seen, someone showed me a picture, and you know how on the iPhones you can take the picture, but you don't realize like it's a live picture. So when you press it, you can see the before and after you actually take the picture. And the before, when you put your finger on it, the before showed when they were preparing for the picture. And it was not a pretty sight, because everybody looked so sad. And then all of a sudden they smiled for the camera, and then after the picture, the flash went off, you see them go right back into their, it didn't look horrible. It just looked like it was staged. And it just so happened that the picture was sent. And when the picture was sent, they didn't realize that the live was on. So you can see the before and after the flash on the camera. And so you can see that it was staged. So a lot of you guys are fretting. A lot of you guys are hurt. And of course, it's hurtful to see it, but you have no idea. Really, for some of you guys, you're so loyal that you wouldn't have left. It took them leaving you. You should thank the new supply for taking them off of your hand, because now this new supply is dealing with this monster that you let go of. You've probably spared your children heartache. You've spared yourself some extra heartache. And this person has opened their arms up, and they have no idea, just like you didn't know. This person presented themselves a certain way. And remember, when they present themselves, they don't know the new supply. So the way that they present themselves is with all your assets, with all your attributes, everything about you, they pretend that they are to them. And so really that new supply fell in love with you, not. And so that's why for some of you guys, I know what this person is like. I know I want the person that I met. I want the person back that when I first met them, this is what they were like. Well, you didn't meet them. You met the old supply. And so really it's the old supply that you met. That's the person that you really cared and loved in the very beginning. You just don't realize that. So no, stop asking yourself that question. They look happier. Stop looking on their Facebook page, because everything they do at this photo opportunity. They know that you're looking. And even if they think that you're, if they think that you're looking, they're going to do something and post something, all because of the fact that they know that you're looking, or they assume that you are looking. But in the back, most of these new supplies, even you, when you realize that you are in trouble, put it that way, you got yourself into some trouble, and you realize that this is the worst mistake I ever made. They rushed you into everything. You ended up getting married to them. Your children, now they've love bombed your children. So now it's not easy just to back out of the situation. And so now you're trying to figure, now they made these big investments. They bought these big homes or big businesses and everything to lock you in so that you can't go anywhere. Now you're thinking to yourself, what have I done and how can I get myself out of it? Well, what do you think that new supply is doing? Don't think for a minute. And then on top of that, they're embarrassed about the choice they made. They're embarrassed that they were the side chick. They were embarrassed that they threw stuff in your face. Now they're realizing all the stuff that they did has backfired, and now they realize, oh my gosh. But for some of them, they're prideful too, and for some of them, they're not going to let you know that they know. They're going to make sure they do everything that they possibly can to put on a good front, and on the inside, they're dying just like you were. And remember, when they leave you to go to a new supply, they're worse than what they were with you, because they've learned. You taught them new things. You've taught them how they get caught. Think about every time you caught them, every time you said something, every time you're like, don't you understand this? And this is not what you do. And this is not how a man or a woman is supposed to act. And this is not what you do. This is, and then why would you do this? And you're telling them how they got caught. So they don't take that information to improve themselves. They take that information in order to be better at manipulating with the new person. And usually they kind of know when the relationship is at end, when you start standing up for yourself, when you start creating boundaries and you start standing up for yourself, and you just don't let things pass anymore, and you start confronting and pointing at the elephant in the room. That's when they realize they're losing their grip, they're losing control. So they need someone else that they can manipulate that don't know them. They need someone else that's vulnerable and that is ignorant to, not ignorant meaning you're stupid, ignorant meaning you're lacking information, that they're ignorant to their behaviors and who they are. And they usually jump really quick because they know this is a matter of time that they're found out. They know it's a matter of time that the master's going to slip and they're going to find out too. And so they hurry up and lock this person in before this person has the opportunity to truly find out who they are. And by the time they truly find out who they are, it's too late, because they've locked them in financially, emotionally, they've invested, and it's hard for them to back out. But don't think for a minute, just because you don't see it, stop looking for it. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not happening, because you weren't the type of person to show it either, because you were embarrassed. A lot of you guys were embarrassed and you didn't want to show it, and you tried to hide it from your family and friends, So don't think for a minute that this new supply is better than you, or the better meaning, see, the language is different. Remember, when they find a better supply, it doesn't mean that the supply is better than you. It just means the supply is more pliable and easier to manipulate and ignorant to what they are and what they do. So it becomes better supply because it's easier to control, or they're easier to control. That's what makes them a better supply in the narcissist mind. But in actuality, you are the better person because you're the one that is now knowledgeable and experienced. You understand now. You're beginning to understand. And is it painful? Absolutely, it's painful. I can't take that away. There's nothing that no one can say or do. You have to go through the process of healing. It is a process of healing, and it is a hard process for many of you guys that have invested many years in, and then all of a sudden this person walks out of your life as if you never existed, as if you guys didn't have some of you guys were married 30, 40, 50 years, and some of you guys looking like, how did this person walk away, as if me and this person did not have a life together and have children together. Some of them actually begin to treat you like the side chick, like they were afraid to cheat on the girlfriend with the wife. Now that came out of what, next Friday or Friday after next, whatever, with with Pinky. Remember, I got a girlfriend and a wife on the side. That's how they started treating you. And some of you guys are appalled, and you just can't wrap your mind around it. Well, you're trying to wrap your mind around somebody that's very dysfunctional. You're not inside of a dysfunctional or mentally disordered person, so you don't understand how they think. So stop trying to think on your level with your clarity at how a dysfunctional person thinks. You don't know what's going on in that dark mind of theirs. But you got to remember that no, just because they get with a new supply and it looks all peachy, hunky-dory, and so wonderful, and they look like they're enjoying themselves, and they're always smiling on pictures. Remember the live photo that showed the before and after the flash, and it showed that it was staged. Remember, it's staged because they know that you're looking, and a lot of times that new supply has found out that I've made a terrible mistake and I'm so embarrassed. I don't want my family or friends to know, just like you. You don't want your family or friends to know. And so it's just a matter of time. Some of them stick it out, but some of these people, if you talk to them, it seems like they need to go to a mental, they need to go get a therapist and be locked up in inpatients, but they'll never let you know, because remember, they were the ones that interfered in your marriage. And if you interfere into something that you're not supposed to interfere in, or your relationship, you have no idea what you're going to get. You're playing Russian roulette. So you guys remember that. Thank you guys so much for listening here on podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in here on YouTube. My name is Dr. Carmen Bryant. You can find me on YouTube, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You can find me on podcast, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, and wherever else they have podcasts. My main platform is Podbean. So if you go and subscribe, it's free. I think it's free subscription. You can subscribe to my channel there. I'm trying to equalize it and start recording on both at the same time, so I can get the videos back up and the podcast back up. For some of you guys that like listening to podcasts, or some of you guys like to watch me while I talk. It's nothing significant. I just bob my head a lot while I'm talking. But thank you guys for tuning in. Those of you that need coaching, you are always welcome to contact me at Dr. Carmen Bryant, DrCarmenBryant @outlook.com to inquire about my coaching fees. If you are inside the state of Washington, I do offer counseling. I do not offer counseling outside the state of Washington because I'm licensed in the state of Washington. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I'm a certified clinical trauma professional, and I do hold a Doctor of Education in Counseling Psychology with an emphasis in counselor education and supervision. And so I love teaching. I love what I do. Those of you that are seeking counseling, I encourage you, before you seek coaching and counseling is not the same. Before you seek coaching, some of you need counseling. I do have a sponsored link. It is betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. They will give you a 10% discount for clicking on my link. And then if you're having financial difficulties, you can talk to them and they can provide you with the grant to assist you, but it's a nominal fee. And you can ask, when you inquire about counseling, ask them not, do you understand narcissist abuse? Take that out your language. Give them the definition. Do you understand psychological trauma? Do you understand parental alienation? Do you understand, not just domestic violence, physical violence? Do you understand, the effects and the post-traumatic stress and the complex post-traumatic stress? When you're talking about mental health or emotional issues, that is not coaching, that is counseling. Mental health counseling, emotional counseling, that is counseling. And I advise you guys, you are your greatest investment. Make the investment in yourself. Make sure you also go to my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. That is my mother. That is my spiritual mom. That is my mother. And please go tune in, and you will see her speaking to you about narcissist abuse from a biblical and spiritual perspective, because she's a senior presiding prelate of Into His Chambers Global Ministry. You guys are welcome to follow her. Those of you that are believers, I know everyone is not a believer, but you're welcome to go and listen to her on Thursdays and on Sundays. And Tuesdays we do prayer. But you guys are welcome to tune in. But she has some phenomenal information concerning narcissists from a biblical and spiritual perspective. So you guys are welcome to go and listen to her as well, Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. And thank you guys, as always, for following me. Thank you for subscribing. Share the videos, because you never know, or share the podcast, because you never know who's going through this. You never know, who's suffering. And I also have a book. It's called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. You can find it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Some of you guys are concerned about family members, and you're trying to figure out how to tell them about this narcissist. Don't tell them about the narcissist. Buy them the book. And when they read, these are stories of real people in this book, real people that went through what they were thinking, how they were groomed, how they ended up in these relationships. Yes, in the beginning of the book, I do give a description about the narcissistic personality disorder. I do talk about it, but then I put it in very plain layman terms, because I actually give the experience of these people in there to show them what it looks like. And so a lot of people can relate with it because they found themselves in the book. Yes, it's a Christian book, so I do provide Christian encouragement. However, take the principles out, because it's the stories in there that let you know how these people were thinking. How these people were thinking, and what they went through, and what their children went through, and how their children were groomed, and how they were groomed from a very young age to be set up for this atrocity, this hot mess, that I would say. So thank you guys once again for all your support. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Do know that I am working on my website to create the classes. You guys have been asking about the classes. There are paid classes, and you have to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Everything is not free. Invest in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, you are your greatest asset. Remember that, and you are your greatest investment. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you guys so much, and you guys go be great.